Good morning, and we're in section 75, verse 23. Up to this time, we've been given instructions to the elders what they should be, how they should preach and teach. And then this part is a separate revelation given the same day. Just one little thing. If you're following along, you probably noticed that on YouTube, I did a video yesterday, but it has not wanted to upload it. This happens every once in a while. I may have to redo that one and put it back on, but I will just persevere, and I'll do this one, and if I can't get it to upload later today, I will redo the video just before this video. Anyway, we'll continue. And again, thus saith the Lord unto you, O ye elders of my church, who have given your names, that you might know his will concerning you. I guess right there is a precursor to what's going to happen. It says, given your names. We're going to have a lot of names in a second. Behold, I say unto you that it is the duty of the church to assist in supporting the families of those, and also to support the families of those who are called and must needs be sent unto the world to proclaim the gospel unto the world. So here we have the mandate that if somebody's out on a mission or something, help out their family. And back then especially, there wasn't like, oh, it's all 19-year-olds going out. This is family men. These are people leaving their wives and children to go and preach the gospel for an indeterminate amount of time usually. It wasn't, oh, you're going to go for 2 years. It was, oh, go until the next conference or until such and such a time. And they would do it. But sometimes it's really difficult. So the people in the church learn to rely on each other and to help each other out. And we can do that today. We can help each other out. I believe it was shortly after my mission that the General Missionary Fund was established, where you can help missionaries that haven't got the funds to be able to support themselves for 2 years. And be able to help them out that way. So I think we're still living that principle where if you can, you assist and support those that are out on their missions and doing things for the Lord. Wherefore I, the Lord, give unto you this commandment, that ye obtain places for your families, inasmuch as your brethren are willing to open their hearts. And let all such as can obtain places for their families and support of the church for them not fail to go into the world, whether to the east or to the west or the north or the south. So basically, once you find that your families, take care of your families first. Make sure that they're okay. But don't forget that you still need to share the gospel. Let them ask, and they shall receive. Knock, and it shall be opened unto them, and be made known from on high, even by the Comforter, whither they shall go. And now we usually, I think that still happens, but we have this missionary committee, and the prophet himself reviews all of the missionaries going out and where they shall go. And we know that it's a 2-year mission for young men and a 1.5 years for young women. It's just, and there's other ones now. You can get shorter missions or longer missions if the need is there. But there are exceptions to it. And we have a great opportunity for service missions. And I kind of feel like that is a little bit what we have here is the principles that you can have those different missions as well. Let every man be diligent in all things, and the idler shall not have a place in the church except he repent and mend his ways. So diligence rather than idleness. And I think we should look to ourselves to see how diligent we are. Now we get all of the people going, and it's just a list of names. And all of these are again in the Revelations in context at the beginning of the section. Or historical resources, whatever it's called. I think it's called at the top. They just call it historical resources for Doctrine and Covenants 71 to 75, and it's just got a whole list of names in there and little short biographies. And I kind of taken from there, and I've done that in other areas. We once had, I'm sure, Simeon Carter in an earlier thing. And so it says, wherefore let my servant Simeon Carter and my servant Emer Harris be united in the ministry. And so we have first Simeon Carter. He was born in 1794. Was baptized into the church in February 1831. So he's about a year into the church now. And he served several missions. Lived in Clay County, Missouri, then Caldwell County, and after being expelled, settled in Iowa. And by 1840, isn't it interesting? He was in Iowa, not in Nauvoo, in Illinois. He served a mission to England, and after which he migrated to the Salt Lake Valley. And we've got two Carters. We've got Simeon Carter, who did that, and we've got a further down here, Gideon Carter. I'm just going to jump to him just because I can. Again, obviously, brothers, Gideon is a bit younger, 1798, both born in Killingworth, Connecticut. Both, I think, I don't see when he was, in October 1831 was when he was baptized, so he was baptized later that year. After some preaching, as we see here, he went to Pennsylvania to preach. The following year, he was remarried to Charlotte Woods. I don't know what happened to his first wife. In 1837, he served in the Kirtland High Council and was a member of the Kirtland Safety Society. He moved to Far West, Missouri, and in 1838, he was killed in the Battle of Crooked River in Ray County, Missouri. So he had a tragic end during a very difficult time that we're going to find probably quite soon that we talk about. So that was Gideon Carter. Back to Emer Harris. Was born in Cambridge. He was 1781. So he's by 1832, that's almost 50 years old. Is that right? And he joined the church in February 1831, so he's about a year old as well. And he labored in the Kirtland Temple. He migrated to Missouri in October 1838, but along with other Latter-day Saints, he was soon expelled from that state and forced to resettle in Commerce, Illinois, which was later renamed Nauvoo. He labored on the Nauvoo Temple and became part of the Nauvoo Legion. He migrated to the Utah Territory and ultimately settled in Logan, where he died in 1869. So quite a famous, strong member of the church there. And this is pretty much where we hear of him. There's loads of people that we never hear about. Ezra Thayer, I think we've already talked about, and he has a lot in there. He was one that went kind of really weird. He had his membership suspended for an indeterminate amount of time. Then he served in the High Council at Adon-on-Dyomon, and then he affiliates with James Strang's movement. In the 1850s. Then he was rebaptized into the church in New York, September 1854, and then 6 years later he joined the reorganized Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Michigan. So he just kind of flitted back and forth, not really being strong in the church. So I find that interesting. Ezra Thayer is one of those people, and we had talked about him back in Doctrine and Covenants 33, so you've heard that one name before. But I decided to put them all here anyway. Thomas B. Marsh, again, is one that it's interesting that Ezra Thayer and Thomas B. Marsh was together as a Thayer going kind of off the rails a few times. Thomas B. Marsh did a lot of interesting stuff and was not only the High Council, but he was the president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, which we know from history, and that's why I probably wouldn't usually go to him, because we'll see him again. But eventually, and we'll talk about him later in Doctrine and Covenants 112 as well. We talked about him in 31. But it says Marsh withdrew from the church in 1838 and was excommunicated in 1839. In 1857, he was rebaptized and migrated to Utah, and a totally different man by that time. Really interesting to study about him, but right now we're just going a little bit on that. I always think of his quote when he withdrew from the church in 1838, or before he was rebaptized in 1857 is what I should say. He would say the famous quote, "I never left the church left me." Quote. Hiram Smith, I did not put anything on him, because if you don't know who Hiram Smith is, and the things that he did and how he was, I mean, it's worth looking at, but when we've got all these names, I think we'll move on, and later on when we talk about him and his brother Joseph, and their martyrdom, I think a lot more will be said. And then Reynolds Cahoon is another one that we've heard before. He is again 42, I think. By this time, he was baptized in 1830, so he's probably one of the older members by this time, because most members are baptized either in 1831 or 32 that's in this lineup, other than like Hiram and and Thomas B. Marsh. And then he was one of the ones that is appointed to the serve a mission to Missouri. He traveled back to Kirtland with Joseph Smith after the prophet dedicated Independence, Missouri for the establishment of Zion. He served as a counsel to Bishop Newell K. Whitney at Kirtland. Well, beginning the year 1832, the following year he was appointed to serve a mission in Warsaw, New York. So he's quite a bit. The thing with Reynolds Calhoun that I think of is his overseeing the building of the Kirtland Temple. He seems to be really involved in the temples, because he does that. He becomes a counselor in Adirondack. Then Cahoon fled Missouri with the Saints, moving to Nauvoo, and served on the Nauvoo Building Committee. And then after that was went to the Utah Valley territory. So Reynolds Cahoon is really involved in temple work, at least 2 temples in our time. Interesting character. Wow. Got Seymour Brunson. Sounds like a rich tycoon, if you ask me, Brunson. Might be wrong. But again, he joined the church in 1831 and was baptized by John Whitmer. In January 1832 was instructed by revelation to be united in the ministry. And he died at New Nauvoo. So he had been in Caldwell County, then moved to Commerce, Illinois, that became Nauvoo, and died in Nauvoo. What year? 1840. So, yeah. Sometimes we don't think about these in their lives. I hope you're getting some from this. I find that it's interesting to go through and look at some of the things that they had to go through, that these were real people. They weren't just people. And I think that's the one thing I've really enjoyed this year, is that I've been able to get in and see them as people and not just cover it, just go past them. Gideon Carter, we'd already talked about. Ruggles Eames, I don't think we have anything on them. Nope. Sometimes they don't have anything, or didn't put anything. I don't know why. If they hadn't put it in here, then they must not have very much on them at this stage. There might be something out there, but wasn't enough to put it in there. Stephen Burnett was born 1813, so he was one of the younger ones. Is that 19 at 18? Yeah, like 19. He was he joined in 1830, so he was about 17 when he joined the church, baptized. And he seems to, I'm just looking really quick because above this, says his correspondence with the Campbellite minister was published in the church's publication Elders' Journal in 1837. By 1838, however, he had left the church. So he left around the same time a lot of people did. When we get to that part of the Kirtland era, or the end of the Kirtland era, we'll see some people leave. And that's when a lot of these newer converts did. Not just a few of them. I forgot who we were just on. Were we on Stephen Burnett, weren't we? Then we're on the last two. Micah B. Welton had no information, I knew that. And Eden Smith. Again, these Smiths are not related to Joseph Smith. Sylvester Smith or Eden Smith, I do not think were related. Um, um, so he joined the church in 1831 or December 1831, and it just says that he was part of the Nauvoo Legion, and he was called on a mission to Erie County, Pennsylvania. It doesn't say what happened to him after that. So, and lived to 1851, kind of young as well, in my estimation. So that's the people that was in here. This is the people, they all had faithful moments, and some of them were faithful through, most of these were faithful throughout their whole life. And it's easy to go through these names and just go, yeah, just read them off. And I could have had this done in record time, and probably should have. I hope you guys learned something, and if you don't, just go over the names and look at them. But I think the most important thing is they're all asked to be united in the ministry. And I hope whatever calling you have, whatever you're doing, try to be united in the ministry of what you're doing. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.